All right, welcome to Money Plan Conversations. I am Malika Daniels, and I'm a money coach with Women Who Money Plan, and I help women build a strong, solid financial foundation. And I'm starting these money plan conversations because I wanted to bring on various financial experts to help give a different perspective in how to take control of your money, to talk to people about what they do, who they are, and have people have a better understanding of these type of people that they might need to seek out during their financial journey. So today I am joined by Lorraine Martin, who is a financial advisor. And I am just so excited to talk with you today, Lorraine. Thank you for being here.
Thank you,
Um,
Malika. Thanks for having
yeah,
me.
yes. So I'm going to have Lorraine give us just a few seconds about who she is and what she does, and then we'll get started with the interview. Go ahead, Lorraine.
Hey, everybody. I'm Lorraine Martin, and I am located I live in Kennesaw, Georgia. My office is in Smyrna, Georgia, and I'm a financial advisor. I've been at this for about 13 years, and I'm really excited to be here to have this conversation with Malika and you guys.
Yes, thank you so much. All right. So my first question is, why did you become a financial advisor?
Wow. So let me see how quickly I can do this. So my family has always been self-employed. We've always had been business owners, but personally, I was an adjuster, claims adjuster with Allstate and Progressive for many years, and I would see the deficient coverages that people would come through with. And so I made the switch and I went to the agent side so I could help people get better coverage for their auto, right? And while I was there at State Farm, I started realizing that while I could help them with their insurance and stuff, I would hear about investments, and all this other stuff on life insurance. I'm like, oh. So I started exploring and happened upon somebody who was in the financial services space. And yeah, for 13 years now, I've been doing that because I really do believe that financial education is a game changer for people. And so that's what I'm passionate about. And that's why I got started to educate people about finances and money, the conversations that are not easy to have, that that are not happening typically. And so, yeah, me and my team, we are set to make a difference in this world, educating people about money and finances.
That's awesome. And like you mentioned, you are located here in Georgia. Are you able to help people in other states as well? And if so, which states can you support?
I am able to help people in other states, and I cannot remember all the states in which I'm licensed. So the last I checked, I was probably licensed about between somewhere about 12 to 15 states. Getting a reciprocal license for other states is really easy. It takes about a week and anywhere from 50 to probably $150 to get a reciprocal license. So if I'm talking to somebody and I'm not yet licensed in their state, it's just a matter of a few days before I can have license and be able to help them as well. But I'm licensed in all the states that touch Georgia, but I'm also licensed in Wisconsin and Oregon and Maryland and Pennsylvania and New York and other states as well too. So
Okay, awesome. Thank you. I gave an opportunity for some people on my Facebook page to put in questions that they might have for a financial advisor. And one of the is they were wondering at what age would you recommend somebody start talking to a financial advisor?
wow. So my son is 17 and he's already started talking to a financial advisor.
Mhm.
Of course, that's me. But in all honesty, I actually have an event I'm doing at a high school in a couple of weeks where I'm going to be having these conversations with middle schoolers, as a matter of fact, middle schoolers and high schoolers. So I really don't think it can be too early, right? What you talk about is what's going to be different, but I really don't believe it can be too early. But once somebody starts working and getting a paycheck, I think that's a good time to start having that conversation because the earlier you start these habits of setting money aside, the better it is for you, right? So whether
Mhm.
it's going to be $50 a month, $100 a month to start, what you're going to find is that the earlier you start, the better position that you're in for the future.
Right.
And it's also not too late. I also have conversations with people who are already retired because even retirement, you want to make sure that that money, whatever it is, whatever the source of that money is, you can make it last as long as possible, pay as little taxes as possible, get the best return as possible you can on it. So I really do believe at any stage of your life, if
Mhm.
you have not yet started the conversation with an advisor, now is the best time to do it.
Okay, that's great. That's really helpful to know. Let's see what other questions I have here for you. What do you like most about being a financial advisor?
I love to talk about those light bulb moments.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when I'm having a conversation with somebody and they may have been against, I don't know, investing in the stock market, or they may be against having life insurance or something like that. And when I'm able to explain to them the reason why these things are important, the reason why they should have it in place, and then they get it, you know, and you see that shift in their attitude, the shift in the arms being closed, and when that shift happens, I mean, I love those moments, I
Yes.
absolutely do. So yeah, those are some of my favorite times to get somebody to buy in and see the advantage and the reason for having these products in place for themselves.
No, I love that. I feel like even as a coach, when you start seeing that mindset shift and people are
Mhm.
thinking about
Yes,
things differently and being
yes,
open to a different way of thinking, I can totally see
absolutely.
that. Yeah. Is
Yeah.
there any part of the job that is harder than you thought it would be, or that has been a challenge for you?
No, people who don't respond, because I know the difference that I can make in their lives, you know? And until or unless I get to meet with them, and because financial education is the biggest part of what I do, it's a precursor of everything, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so until I have a chance to have that conversation with them, to have that first round of education, they don't know what they don't know. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's the hardest part for me. I like to say that I am, what did I call myself? I can't think of the word I use, but by persistence, I joke about the fact that I have like 3,000 contacts in my phone. And who does? Who has 3,000 contacts in their phone?
Yeah,
But
that's a lot.
I don't delete numbers, and I don't give up on people, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
I continue to have these touches with them over the years. I have numbers in my phone that I haven't probably talked to these people in 5 to 10 years. And
Mm-hmm.
so when I make connected, oftentimes they don't, the same person doesn't have that number anymore. But even if they don't, or if they do, I'm basically just being persistent in I want them to understand the importance of these conversations. That's the hardest part for me. People not understanding the importance of having these conversations, the importance of
Mm-hmm.
having a consultation. It's free. It doesn't cost anything to have a consultation. It's going
Right.
to take probably 30 minutes of your life, and that's it. You
Yep.
know? And that's a frustrating part, when people don't get it and don't stay open to it, or open themselves to having that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Really, I think that's the hardest part of what I do.
Yeah,
Accepting I
that
don't know.
free 30 minutes can change your entire future and your entire financial trajectory.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that's frustrating to me when people don't get that.
Yeah, that makes sense. What would you say are the attributes of your ideal client?
Um, in our company, we have something called macho, not a macho man, but an acronym, right? And the macho stands. The M is for married. The A is for age between ideally 25 to 55. Everybody has a target market, and that's our target
Mm-hmm.
market, 55, 25 to 55. C is for children under 18. H
Mm-hmm.
is for having a household, and O is for having an occupation. So macho, MACHO, right?
Okay.
And so that's the ideal client. Where I find them is going to be different. So I talk to individuals, I talk to families, two-parent households, and I talk to business owners, because in those three areas are where I'm going to find the ideal person that can
Right.
benefit from the majority of the things that I offer. So
Okay.
macho, married, age 25 to 55, children at home under 18, even if they're away at college, having your own household, and having a job, to pay for the stuff that you're going to need.
Right. Yeah, that's important. And when you say household, I just want clarification for those watching. Does that mean they have to be a home owner or just not living with somebody? Can you explain that a little bit more, please?
Yeah, they don't have to be a homeowner. And especially in this climate, so many people are renting by choice or by necessity, but
Mm-hmm.
they still need all of this stuff, and still can take advantage of all this stuff. So that's why I think in the past they used to say homeowner. I personally change it to
Mm.
household,
Yes.
because I really do believe that we're looking for people with those 5 points, but I can also talk to them if they're 4 points. I can talk to them if they're
Mm-hmm.
3 points, and even if they're 1 point, it may be a single individual, but at some point in the future, they may want to get married. They may want to do whatever. They still need to save for retirement. They still need to do all those other things as well. So I really, that's again, it's ideal, but it's not exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I can still talk to anybody, even people over 55. But that's, every company has a target market. I get it.
Right.
Every company has a target market, but it doesn't mean that outside of that you can't help other people as well. And so that's what it is. That's my target market, but I can help people under 25, over 55, with
Yes.
no kids, all of that as well.
Love that. Okay, that's really good. That's great information for anybody watching. No matter what your situation is, you would be a great contact for them to at least meet with and kind of see if you could help them in their situation. All
Hmm.
right. Let's see what other questions I have here. When people are looking to hire a financial advisor, I would often tell somebody that you kind of want to, interview different people and kind of see who you get along with. What are
Yep.
some things that you think someone should look for in a financial advisor?
Um, Openness,
Mhm.
honesty, and sometimes your gut. I know a lot of what we do now is on Zoom. I was recently referred to a client who she had over $200,000 to invest, and I'd never met her. I had
Mhm.
one conversation with a lady who was a tax lady. In that first conversation, she referred me to this lady with the money. And so I'm calling this lady blindly. She lives in another state,
Yeah.
Thankfully, she was coming to Georgia for Christmas to visit with her daughter. And so I drove 2 hours to meet with her and her
Wow.
other daughter because I don't want her in any way to feel that I am not a real person. I am not honest. And so I did not want to do this on Zoom. And so I was so
Yes.
thankful that I was able to go meet with her and establish that rapport and earn her trust. And so, yeah, I think that's a big deal. And I know, as I said, with technology and Zoom and all that stuff, it sometimes may be a little bit more difficult. But
Mhm.
you can also do background on all your financial advisors. There's something called broker check that the federal government has available, and we are all financial advisors are listed on there. So
Can
you
you
can
repeat
go to
that name again?
brokercheck.org.
Brokercheck.org. Okay,
Mhm.
great.
And you can look up every financial advisor and see their background, see their licensing, how long they've been, wherever they are, all that stuff. You see our personal finances as well. Um, if a financial advisor has filed bankruptcy and all that stuff, you can see that stuff about them. So that's one place you can start. And then I would
Mhm.
say get referrals, from people that you know and trust. And that's one of the things that we thrive on also as well. Money is such a personal thing that
Mhm.
it's hard to go to a stranger to start that conversation. So that's one of the reasons why referrals is a big deal. So if somebody that you know, like, and trust is referring you to somebody else, it makes it easier for you to get to know them, get to like them, and get to trust them as well. And then you
Yes.
have the personalities to mesh. You want that. A couple of my clients, they would talk about the fact that, and it's true, we talk about anything and everything. Because if you can open up to somebody about your money, your deepest, darkest secret, you're going to open to them about your divorce, about your problems with your marriage, about your kids and what they're doing. About you open up to them about somebody. I know we're not there to give psychological or relationship advice,
Right.
but the trust is so broad, or is that you are able to have those other conversations as well. So you really want to look for
Yes.
that. Not to go have those conversations, because for me, a lot of my clients are my friends and my family, you know?
Mhm.
And so I do have those conversations with them. But if I'm being referred to somebody, I'm not necessarily going to have those conversations, but the ability is there for that to happen because the trust is so deep.
Yes, I think that's so important. When we're dealing with money, we get really nervous about, like, is this person going to try to scam me? Are they going to run off with my money and all those kind
Yeah.
of things? So that's another reason why I wanted to have these money plan conversations, is for people to start to get to know various experts in the industry and kind of get
Mhm.
a feel for how they are and who they are and all those kind of things. So thank you for
Right.
that. I think those are some
Mhm.
great tips for somebody who is starting to look for a financial advisor to work with. What about, I hear a lot of times from clients that they know they should be investing, but they are nervous, they're scared, they don't want to lose money. What would you say to somebody that you meet that comes to you with those kind of concerns about the idea of investing?
Right. That's a great question, because that is one of the things that stops so many people, especially if you're glued to the TV and watching what the guy Squawk or whatever his name is, I can't think of his name, on MSNBC. If you're watching those things, and it does make you nervous. I have clients who I literally have to tell them, do not open those statements, don't watch TV, stay away from it. But it's understandable. But one of the things that there are so many options for investments. I want to be clear. Every investment carries some amount of risk, right? But being balanced more than anything else can help to diffuse that risk, right? We take into account what we call your risk tolerance. How do you feel about your money? But on the other hand, we also educate you that safety sometimes just doesn't give you enough growth, especially so many of us are starting late, right?
Mhm.
Can't be too conservative because you're not going to have your money growing, you know? And so you have to take some measured risk, but be educated on that. And that's one of the big pieces that I educate my folks about, because we talk about diversification and the importance of diversification. We talk about the importance of, making sure that you are deliberate and steady with your money, putting in something every month so you catch the market sometimes when it's up, sometimes when it's down, and balance that out. So any and all of those factors come into play as well. And call me. I like to talk about the fact that people who are investing on their own don't do as well as people who are investing with an advisor. It's not because we don't have access to the same products or investments out there. It's because when you're investing on your own and the market tumbles, you run to take your money out.
Mhm.
When you
Mhm.
have an advisor, your advisor calls you oftentimes before you call them and say, remember what we talked about? Remember what the plan is? This is a 20-year plan. The fact of whatever is happening today does not affect you for 20 years down the road. And so
Mhm.
we talk our clients off the ledge, right? So
Yes.
if they leave it in, more often than not, it's going to bounce back, right? And so that gives them the opportunity, because having a plan, having information in and of itself is not enough. What you want is a plan and a strategy. And an advisor
Mhm.
is who can help you create that plan and set that strategy and help to hold you accountable and remind you of what the end goal is and what the plan is that you discussed and the time frame in which you need this money. So if you're going to be retiring 10, 15, 20, 30 years from now, the market tumbling today is actually a good thing.
Mhm.
Means that when the market tumbles, share prices go down. And if you're putting in money regularly or have dividends churning from your investment, those are buying shares on sale when the market
Yes.
tumbles. And so oftentimes a lot of people don't understand it. They hear the term buy low and sell high, but our emotions cause
Do
us
the opposite.
sell, sell low and buy high. When we
Mhm.
follow the news and follow our emotions, those are the things that happen. But when you follow your plan and your strategy, you do buy low and sell high.
Yes, thank you. That's really great information. I hope anyone who's watching that has been a little bit nervous about getting started with investing will reach out to Lorraine to get some of this information and hopefully get started. I also want to ask you, I know you can help people who are planning to, who want to start investing or planning for their retirement. What are some of the other services that you offer?
So it's interesting that you asked that. Our company has diversified in so many areas. So life insurance. So one of the things I like to talk about, we protect people from dying too soon and living too long.
Mhm.
And those may sound like weird phrases. What do you mean die too soon? But
Yeah.
the fact is, if you die a minute before you got a life insurance policy to protect your loved ones, you've died too soon.
Mhm.
On the other hand, if you live beyond the money in retirement, if you live beyond the money that you have saved for retirement and now have to go back to work at 70, 75 years old because you've run out of money, you've lived too long. So we
Right.
protect
Okay.
people from those bookends, making sure that they have the right kind and the right amount at the price they can afford of life insurance to protect their loved ones in the event of their untimely death. And we also create a plan for you to make sure that you have the right amount of investment set aside that when you retire, you can stay retired, right? Because we all want to be financially independent and we all want to retire, but retirement is not an age thing, retirement is a money thing. If you have enough money
Yes.
at 45, you can retire. But if you don't have enough money at age 80, you can't. Or if you
Mhm.
retire, it's not going to be a good retirement. So
Mhm.
those are the areas in which I'm able to help people. In addition to that, we also offer other products, but these are the biggest for me. We're
Okay.
able to offer, mortgages and other stuff as well too. But for me and for this audience, that is the prime space in which I operate, the life insurance and the investment side. And I talk about more so retirement in investments, but there are other pieces to retirement. There's college savings, 529s, the UTMAs, all of
Mhm.
can help folks with as well. So it's not just for retirement, and even retirement, there's so many different products. There's IRAs, there's SEPs, there's simples, there's 401ks, 403bs, and I can do all of those things as well for the
Okay.
individual, for the family, and for the business owner.
Awesome. This is great. Thank you so much. We're getting low on time, but I do want to ask a few fun questions just so people can get to know Lorraine a little bit better. So my one question for you is, what is your favorite movie?
My favorite movie, True Lies. You may not
Oh,
even
I
know
remember
it.
that movie.
I love True Lies. Every time my kids would see it on, before streaming and all that stuff, if they would
Yeah.
sit there and call me that True Lies is on, mommy. Okay.
Awesome. All right. Very cool. What are some other jobs that you've had in your past?
Well, as I mentioned, oh gosh. Um, I mentioned that I worked at Progressive and Allstate. I
Mhm.
worked at State Farm. These are jobs that I had in Georgia, in New York. I worked at a bank. I worked in the toy department of Abraham and Strauss.
Oh,
Most people
okay.
probably don't even know what that is, but it's a federated store like Macy's or one of them. That was my first job when I came to the U.S. Back in the 80s. So yes, I've had a few different jobs but then again, my family have also been in businesses. We've had restaurants. We had a car lot at one point, a used car lot. So yeah, we've been in a few different things. So
That's awesome. And then you mentioned you came to the US in the 80s. Where are you originally from?
I'm originally from Jamaica, and it's cold outside and windy, so I am wearing my Jamaica shirt today to
Yes.
warm me up.
Representing. I love
Yes,
it.
I'm originally from Jamaica, and my first job was in Jamaica. Talk about jobs. I worked at the National Water Commission in Jamaica. So for any
Okay.
Jamaicans who are listening, they hate the Water Commission because they shut off their water all the time. But hey,
So that was you, huh? All right. Okay. One more question before we go.
mhm.
Just what is some of the, like, what's one financial tip that you have found to help you be most successful on your own personal financial journey, or one money tip
Wow,
that you would give to somebody that said, like, what's one word of advice you would give
sure.
about money?
Um, Focus on it. Pay attention to it. You know what I mean? And that's been my issue. It's funny because I haven't said it recently, but I used to say that there's a reason why I'm in this business because I needed this information for me.
Yes.
I needed, and I know these are the pieces that you do, Malika. I needed to figure out how to get out of debt. I needed to know that I needed to save for emergencies. I know I needed, all those things I need. So the things that I'm talking to people about are the things that I'm applying to my own life. You know,
Yes.
I know I need to, for the time being, I've been in this business now for 13 years. But for the time being, I would tell my kids that I'm worth more dead than alive right now because I understand the importance of having life insurance. At the
Mhm.
same time, I am building my investments for retirement.
Yes.
So the biggest piece I would say about money and finances, pay attention to it.
Hmm.
Pay attention to it and take action. If
Yes.
information was all we needed to succeed financially, we would all be financially successful. But we
Hmm.
need more than information. We need a plan, a strategy, and we need a coach. And
Yes.
that's where you come in for the piece that you do, Malika. And that's where people like me come in for the other piece of it. So more than anything else, I'd say give it your attention.
I love that. I love that a lot. Thank you so much. And if somebody wanted to work with you, how can they get a hold of you? How can they find you?
So, and my cell phone, as I said, I have 3,000 numbers. I could add a few more. I could add another 500 in there. So I'm going to give you my cell phone number. Is that okay to do that? To give my cell
Yeah,
phone?
go for it.
My cell phone number is 678-637-4219. Again, 678-637-4219. That's my cell phone. You can also hit me up on Facebook. I'll be connected on the video. So you can connect with me through Facebook as well and DM me through Malika's link because I'm part of Women Who Money Plan as well.
Yes. Yes.
So
And if you're not in the Women Who Money Plan Facebook group, please make sure you join. Lorraine is in there. She shares great content, and she can maybe even answer a question if you post a
yeah,
question in there as
absolutely.
well. So that's another great way to get a hold of her. Well, thank you so much for anyone that watched today. I hope you got some information out of this. We will be sharing this across social media. So if you also have any other questions, you can put them in the comments and we can try to make sure that we respond to any comments that we see. All right. Well, thank you so much. And I will be joining you guys again next month with another financial expert with Money Plan Conversations. Thank you.